a lot of people don't like the mirrors held up in how they treated people or how they weren't involved or helped people excel. And so Dave Chappelle is like, oh, he painted us all in a bad light. Like you said, though, Cat Williams doesn't have those experiences with white comedians because he wasn't in those rooms.
What does that got to do with somebody's wife? Nothing. So like, I get your experience is like cool. I'm with that. Okay. So it might sound contradicting, but I understand both sides, right?
But you said, what does that have to do with someone's wife?
Yes. Nothing.
Okay. So no. So I ain't gonna hold you. If I don't fuck with you, or you did me wrong, or you did me dirty, the bar is in hell, baby. I'll talk about your kids too.
Well, you need to grow up too.
Oh, I'm
in agreement with you on that.
So to me, it could be it could be a maturity factor. No, but let's be very clear. Back to hip hop. When we talk about beef amongst people, nothing is off limits.
Okay, cool.
And so to me, there has to be a standard of just overall treating people better.
Yeah.
But to me, if you did me dirty, when it comes to me now speaking my truth, you can't now dictate how low I go when I felt like you went low with your behavior and treatment of me.
That's not true. When we talk about hip hop, right? Hip hop comes from the streets, right?
Okay.
We can say that, right?
And
it did.
Hip hop came from the streets.
Okay.
The origination of it.
It was a time, right? When we talk these things, we can talk about. I came from the hood, right?
Okay.
Although I wasn't the street nigga, but we understand what the rules of the streets are. There were rules in the streets. When you were beefing with men dealt with men.
Yeah.
We left the kids and the women out of it. So when you go, we're talking about, you said this, you brought it up, you're talking about this comedian thing far as hip hop. So, okay, cool. If you want to take it there, I'm going to take it there too. If you're a grown man, right, you're a grown man. You ain't 30, you ain't still growing up. You're like 50, I don't know his age, but you're a grown man. If you have an issue with somebody, you take the issue up with them. And if you're just telling your story, that's okay. I'm pro that. What that got to do with somebody else's wife?
So I'm not going to lie, that sounds good and all, but I've watched Power and The Wire and all these shows, and kids and wives girlfriends, they be getting off with the quickness if you cross anyone.
That's true.
So to me, let's be very clear.
I guess.
No. In real life, nigga, I watched First 48.
They also get themselves involved in situations.
And let's be very clear. When someone feels wrong, when money is involved, when drugs are involved, when beef is involved, actually no one is off limits.
I mean,
and so what we've seen, even with Pusha T bringing up Drake's baby and all the things that weren't made public, no, nothing is off limits. Like, let's be very clear. You could tell me to grow up again. If you talking shit in my comments and I go to your page and there's a hashtag RIP, I'm talking about that person. Like, if your kids are ugly and you got pictures of them, I'm going to talk about them and their tisms. Do not come for me and not expect me to come for you.
Yeah.
That was not a street rule. And let's be very clear too, where yes, you could sit here and say, yeah, well, I grew up, you literally said, I'm not a street nigga, but I grew up knowing some of the rules. Yeah. That's our problem too. Let's be very clear. Majority of our community, though you may have street ties, the idea that we still have to operate by a street code is really the problem with what's happening.
No, you are right.
The reason that we even have conversations about code is because it is still about integrity. At the bare minimum baseline, there is a level of honor that is upheld, right? Mm-hmm. And so to your point, when the honor is out the door, then it's out the door. I'm not going to reintroduce it. When that was what I started with. Like, we're hearing about stuff from Cat Williams' career from 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't said anything about any of these people at all. And he prefaced with, he's responding to things being said about him for set amount of time. I agree with you, wives. When it comes to business and his dealings, he doesn't need to bring anybody else in it because it's just pointless.
But we ain't seen him since Vine fighting the little kids, and then all these other comedians, the Kevin Harts, the Cedric the Entertainer, the Ricky Smiley, they sat on platforms and spoke on his name first.
So what about the Kevin Hart thing, right? Like that. These are when I say it comes off a little haterish. Like, nobody's seen him tour in LA and things like that. What does that matter?